Our next guest today is Glenn Black, who is the Washington County Clerk. Welcome, Glenn.
Well, thank you, Lisa. Glad to be here.
Well, Glenn, I just thought it was important that you be here today because we have an upcoming election, November the 8th, and we want everyone to get out to vote. So the presidential election, and we have congressman,
senator,
and senator,
school board, city councils,
school board, city council, and state representative,
and a tax question. School board tax question.
That's
also
right.
Be on
The
about
school board tax question. That's right. So that'll be on the ballot. Okay. So there's a lot of things to vote for then, and so we need everybody to get out to vote. So now, Glenn, if people, okay, first of all, if they're not registered to vote, they need to win. What's the cutoff date?
October 11th, 4 o'clock.
October to vote in this election. They need to be registered by October the 11th at
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Is that on? That's October the 11th.
That's on Tuesday. Actually, it's the 10th. But 10th is Columbus Day, so that's technically a holiday, and they moved it up to one day.
Okay, October the 11th at 4 o'clock. Oh, that's good. Good. So now, if they want to register, they can come into the clerk's office, county clerk's office in the courthouse annex.
And get cards. We got cards there. They can do it. They can also go to, I think it's goky.gov and fill out an application, and it will get to us through the state somewhere. I don't know how, but it'll show up.
Yeah, I think is it called, what's it called? Go Vote?
Go Vote. It's
Go Vote.
ky.gov. I think it's where they got it. I don't know.
Go Vote ky.gov.
I think I'm right.
Of course, I know you can find it if you just look up Vote in Kentucky. I think it'll pop up on your search engine, Google or whatever you have, and so you can register. You can, I think, print out a
you can print it out, or I think you can do it on there
and mail it in, or you
email
can
it.
actually do it online and email, and then you'll get notice of it. And then what do you do?
Then the girls, we do a hard copy, and
do you send them out a letter and tell them where they?
Yeah, tell them where they'll vote. Yeah,
where they'll vote.
They'll get a card. Yes.
So they should, after they register, because I know I've had this happen before. People say, "Well, I haven't." I said, "Well, you should get a letter.
You get a card. You get a postcard from telling them what precinct they vote in."
And that comes from your office, doesn't it?
It comes out of Frankfurt.
Oh, it does.
I pay for it, but they send it out of Frankfurt.
They send it out, and they'll tell them what precinct to vote in. And so, we really want people to get registered. Or now, what about if they want to change their registration from, say, Republican to Democrat, or from
whatever? They can do that anytime, but they don't need to do that now in order to vote. Before the
because anyone
can vote either way you want to right now in the fall election.
In the fall general election. Yeah. So, people can vote any way they want. Yep. Okay, and then, so it's not necessary to bother to change their registration.
Not really.
Okay, now what about their address or something like that?
They need to update that.
Okay.
Even if they moved, they need it because they may be on a different precinct. And technically they need to do that before October the 11th. If at all possible. And all they have to do is come in, fill out a card, say address change, and we'll put them in a different precinct of where they need to vote.
And I guess too, Glenn, if someone goes in and has to update their some kind of records, their driver's license, or can they automatically?
Driver's license automatically asks, and they can sign a thing, and we get a card from them and do it from that.
Okay.
We try to get the cards daily or every other day from driver's license, and then go in and check them in the system and enter them.
Okay. But they do need to go ahead and get, or if someone, say, has moved into this county from another county,
They need to do that by the 11th.
they need to do that by October the 11th. They need to come down, or they can do it online either
Yeah.
way. Okay. And they can go to the Secretary of State's website, I guess, and find that.
If I, that's same, it's the
Kentucky
same thing. It's the
Secretary
same
of
thing.
State's, same thing. And then, okay, so now, what other kinds of things? I guess absentee ballots?
Absentee ballots are being requested as now they have to fill out an application, and then we'll mail the ballots out after we get their papers back. I got them in hand today, and some will be going out within the next couple of days that we've already gotten requests for.
You've already gotten requests. So if someone is not going to be here, well, first of all, I guess you're going to have the voting machines up in the office prior to the election.
I'm going to aim to open them on October the 7th.
So,
And that's on a Friday, and then I will be open that Saturday morning.
October the 8th,
October the 8th will be the only Saturday before the election.
the only Saturday before the election?
Yes, yes.
So if you've got students who are in school at UK or U of A, or
Anywhere.
can't be here on election day where they're still registered to vote,
They can come in and vote absentee.
they can come in and vote absentee in the office if they happen to be here on a weekday
It's
from
9 to 4:30.
9 a.m. to 4:30, Monday through Friday, and you'll have one Saturday
October the
open,
8th from 9 to 12.
9 to 12 on October the 8th, on a Saturday. Now, if they can't get here during those times, they can call in
They can call or
and
have
ask you to send an application.
application, and we send them an application, they mail it back, and then we can mail them the ballot. But it needs to be done, and all of that request needs to be done by the last day to apply for a mail-in ballot is November the 1st,
Okay.
because after that date, there's not enough days
Okay.
to get the mail,
Uh-huh.
get everything circulated back.
Okay.
And
So-
any mailed-out ballots that are out, I have to have them back by 6 o'clock on election day.
Okay. So now if, okay, so say a student knows now that they're not going to be here on election day, they can go ahead, call the office, ask you to send them an application for a absentee ballot.
Right.
Then they return the application to you in the mail. You send them an absentee ballot, and then they send that back to you
you in the mail.
by
November the 1st.
November the 1st.
No. Had to have the voted ballot back to me by November the 8th.
Have the voted ballot back to you by November 8th.
Yes.
Now, they can't request one, you're saying,
after
after
November.
November the 1st.
Correct.
Okay. And now, so when will the machines be up, did you say, in the office for early voting?
October, not early voting, absentee voting.
Absentee voting.
October the 7th. That's on
October
a
the
Friday. And then October the 8th would be the Saturday we open.
And then thereafter, up until
Thereafter, during
election.
from 9 to 4:30 during the week.
Okay. Because some people might say have a meeting out of town,
yeah.
they find out they're going to have a
Right.
meeting, and they're not going to be here on election
Right.
day, so they could come in and vote before that.
They got to
Or
have
they
it.
have a doctor's appointment out of town. I know there's several things.
And there's, if they got a work schedule like they're working from 6 to 6, can't be in here, they can do that. Most of the time, truck drivers, they do a lot, but they're not real sure where they're going to be. But that's a big
So-
group.
So they'll come in, and of course, probably right now, a lot of these factory workers that are working 12-hour shifts.
Yeah.
I know some of the factories are working a lot of overtime, and so are I know the distilleries. So they could come in on a day that they're off, Monday through Friday, or that Saturday, October the 8th, and go ahead and vote.
Right.
And now, what about, or are there any other deadlines we need to be aware of?
Not necessarily, I don't think, in the voting process. You know, there's a couple of changes since the last election, which really don't affect us in a way, and it does. Because it used to be the electioneering was within 300 feet. Now it's down to 100 feet. It can't be within 100 feet. Other thing that was passed, I guess, during the last legislature, they took away the city size in order to vote for wet dry. So any city that is incorporated city has got a mayor and a council can petition to vote wet or dry. And then the other one is any county that has a distillery can vote that precinct. But they have to have a distillery. That's about, I think that's the two biggest changes has changed since the last time.
And those are special elections?
Yes,
or
yes,
they
no.
don't have to be?
Yes, no, they're still a special election.
Okay.
Now-
Because, okay.
Well, speaking of special elections, since we're fortunate enough here in Washington County to have been split off one part of a precinct in the 1st Congressional District and the rest of the counties in the 2nd Congressional District.
Yes, since fortunate, I don't think so. Yeah.
On the 1st Congressional District, those who get the ballot are going to be fairly surprised. They need to look at it real good because you're going to be able to vote for your 1st Congressional Congressman in 2 places. Vote to fulfill the unexpired term and vote for the full term.
I know, I saw something about that.
And that, you know, it's going to be a little confusing for some of those voting, but it's only one precinct, and
That's what precinct is that?
Pottsville precinct.
Pottsville. I couldn't remember.
And
Pottsville. Okay.
that will be the difference. It will be on there twice, basically, and it's got special election written there. You have to read it on the ballot, and
Because I think I'm not sure who the Republican
it's Coomer, and I'm not sure of the Democrat.
Is
State, I can't remember his name. I've seen him, but can't tell you what it was.
James Coomer for the Republican.
Yeah, but I don't know who's for the Democrat.
But the I know that name too.
I seen him a while ago, and I just rolled off.
And gosh, I hate that I cannot.
But anyway.
Well, because I think he was just elected. I mean, in the their congressional district meeting to be on the ballot for that position.
An unexpired term.
And for the unexpired term of Ed Whitfield, who is retiring early.
Correct.
So, since that's going to be, that term is not up, they'll fill that term for about
2 months.
2 months. And then the regular election is at the same time.
Right.
You get to elect that person for a full term.
Full term, which would take over in January.
Which is a 2-year term.
Yes.
So I just thought, how confusing is that for people? And that's in Pottsville. So, right. Now, and then, of course, the rest of the counties in the 2nd Congressional District. And so we have running in that race, we have Rand Paul, the incumbent.
And Gray.
And then Mayor Jim Gray of Lexington, who is running against him. So the rest of the people, and then of course we have the presidential election, and everybody surely knows who's running for those offices, because that's constantly on the news. And but besides Hillary Clinton, the Democratic nominee, and Donald Trump as the Republican nominee, we also have the other parties that have candidates.
And
I can't, I've gone blank on that. But anyway, they'll be on the ballot. And so we've got, okay, good. So Gary is giving us the Democratic nominee for the 1st Congressional District is Sam Gaskins.
Sam Gaskins.
Yeah. And then I see this Terry McIntosh as a write-in candidate. So, anyway, that's going to be interesting. he was in or Sam Gaskin was in the Democratic primary, ran unopposed. So, okay. That's good to know. Good information. Thank you, Gary. And then we have, now what are our local races? We have the city council, of course, and we have you said the school board. Who's on the, who are the school board?
Well, school out of District 3, which comprises of Cardville, Mikeville, and Pottsville, Patsy Lester, she's unopposed.
Okay.
Out of School District 4, which composes of Library, Housing Project, and Presbyterian Church, is Carissa Harley. School Board 5, which is comprised of City Hall and the Courthouse, there's Nathan Lynn Russell, Sherry Chesser, Keith Schlosser, and John Floyd. Then on the City Council Springfield, we got 7 running for 6 positions. They're Lisa Hayden, Brooke Coulter, Chuck Poland, John Ellery, Richard Hamilton, Chris Exit, and Carolyn Harden. The City Council at Mikeville, there's 4 positions, 4 running. Heather Reynolds, Linda Anderson, Nathan Cochran, Billy Cloyd. City of Willisburg, they got 5 running for 4 seats, which would be Myron Bird, Ricky Suttles, Wanda Thompson, Jennifer Chesser, and Rhea Bird. And of course, Soil and Water, there was 4 to be elected, and that was all, so they will not be on the ballot, because if you have the right number, they do not have to go on the ballot.
And who are they now? So since there's 4 that have to be, and there's nobody to vote for, basically.
Yeah, they will not be on the ballot. Pat Fowler, Charlie Hahn, Mark Hale, and Sidney Osborne are the 4 who...
Soil and Water Conservation. Okay, so those people in those districts that you mentioned will have a school board nominees to vote for, and 1 for each of those districts. And then, of course, we mentioned the congressional race and the presidential race, and a state representative then we have. So we have Kim King, who is the incumbent state representative, and then we have Toby Brown. Kim is the Republican incumbent, and Toby Brown is a Democratic nominee.
Right.
So is that all of them? Then?
All of them. I think that's all. I think that's right. I think we got them covered.
Okay.
And then, of course, the ballot, I'm going to try to read this, how it will be on for the nickel tax on the school board.
Right.
The question will be, are you for or against the Washington County Board of Education's levy of an additional equivalent tax rate of 5 cents on each $100 valuation of real and personal property to raise funds that will be dedicated strictly to major renovation of existing school facilities and new construction and debt service. And there will be box below to mark for or against is the way that will be on the ballot.
Mm-hmm. And the question is, are you for or against
No,
the
they
5%?
don't. They just, here's the question.
Okay. Are you for or against
yeah.
the Washington County Board of Education's levy of an additional equivalent tax rate of 5? So that 5 cents on each $100 valuation of real and personal property. So that means your house that you own.
It's not going to be on cars.
Not going to be on cars, on boats.
I don't think so. I can't answer that.
Okay, so we got a lot of boat owners around
Yeah.
here, you know. So, okay, so your real and personal property, I guess that would be business owners too, in the county.
That's whatever
So
they got us, yeah.
Real property, okay. Now, 5 cents per $100. So if, say, you've got a $100,000 home,
$50.
that's $50 per year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that is the question, and those monies, it says on that for that tax will go to facilities,
Renovation of existing school facilities, new construction, and debt service.
new construction as well, and debt service.
No,
So you,
No salary or nothing out of that part to be.
right. It seems to me that from what I understand that, that with the renovations of the old high school, maybe it could be used toward that. It could be used toward a new ball field. I think there was some discussion of that, a new football field at the high school, a new high school. So I know there's been, discussion of all those things. So that's what, maybe what some of those monies would go for. So you got to vote for or against. Yeah. So, okay, so I think that covers it. Now if someone, Glenn, is not 18 yet, but wants to register, of course they can go ahead and register. But they have to actually be 18 before November 8th, correct, to be able to vote in the general election.
Correct.
So if any 17-year-olds out there that are going to be 18 before November the 8th, before the general election date, can go ahead and register to vote.
Yes.
Did we get any registrations up at the high school? Did they
I've talked to them and they've got them. They haven't gotten any back to me, so I don't know.
I didn't know if they were going to have
they got their list and they got their cards from Frankfurt like they generally send them and one thing or another. I've talked to them. And
but they haven't scheduled a registration day as far as you know?
Not that I know of. Not through me. I mean, the history teacher was going to take care of it. Social studies teacher.
Okay. So now, Glenn, if anybody has any questions, they can reach you at the Washington County Clerk's office or one of your deputies at 859-336 5425, Monday through Friday from 9 to 4:30. And I guess they can leave a message if you're close. No message machine? Go ahead. We need a message machine there for people that can't maybe call during other hours, and then they can leave a message, and you can call back and leave them a message. You need to get a message machine. So, and is there anything else that we need, or they can go online now and do their registration or update we talked about at that's to register, Go Kentucky, Go Vote,
GoKY.gov.
GoKY.gov. And is there anything else then?
Next year there won't be an election year.
That'll be nice for a change, won't it?
But we'll probably have a special election or something come up if we have to have something.
Yeah.
But there is not a regular scheduled election for next year.
Well, that's good because I'm about election down. And I'm sure you are too. Yeah. So thank you for being here today. And everybody get out and vote.
That's the main thing.